welcome to part 2 of the Titanfall overview. Last video we went over all the weapons. Kind of accidentally opted out or forgot about the Titan backups. Anyway, I'll be finishing that real quick. Pistols. I completely forgot. The R45 auto is a fully automatic pistol. It is a fun gun. Kind of. I would not recommend the gun. Damage is terrible. Accuracy is terrible. Range is absolutely demolishing. Its fire rate is very fast. For those of you looking at that number, forget about it. I would not recommend this gun. Very bad gun. The B3 Wingman is it's just a really backup for the elite. It's not the best. I'll go over that later. Anyway, today we are talking about the modifications, so tacticals, ordinances, paint, male, female, which I'll probably take like 10 seconds to go over that. So every gun has the same attachment. It's not like Call of Duty. We've got different attachments. All of them have the extra ammo, which increases ammo capacity. The gun runner, which it says shoot while sprinting, but I haven't really found that yet. I can't really tell. The speed reloader, which is a faster reload. I have that on my pistol. Extremely fast reload. You have the gun ready, which is a fast transition into ADS. And then you have quick swap, which means when you're swapping to that weapon, it's much quicker. Now the tactic kill, it says pilot kills increase tactical ability, faster cooldown. I somewhat understand what that means, but I still can't really figure it out. I believe it said I think it just slows down your cooldown. Like after you use your tactical, getting kills just ups it faster. My opinion, my favorite ones are the extra ammo and faster reload. I have on all of my weapons. You just have extra ammo and you can reload in like twice as fast. Gun runner, it's okay. It's kind of annoying if I'm being honest. I just don't really. It's kind of difficult to use. It seems like it's easy, which it probably is. But it's just difficult, honestly. It doesn't affect you much. It just makes it like not. It doesn't even make you that fast, much faster. The gun ready. I would recommend this for those of you that usually stay back a little bit, don't really get in. You like to shoot from a little like far range. It is good to use. For third slot, I would use this. It is not good to use. It's great having faster ADS. Back for those two over it. The quick swap, I find it kind of useless, honestly. I don't find the use in having quick. It doesn't even make it that much quicker. I would not recommend this one. It's basically useless. So just again, it's all about your play style. I would not recommend that. Tactical, I never use this ever. So I can't really tell you. how it would be. I've never used it. So that's something you guys will have to figure out. Next, we have your different tactical or pilots. Starting off, we have the cloak one. Cloak makes you nearly invisible, but they can still see your. It's hard to describe. They can't see your outline, but they can see like. You'll have to search it up. You'll have to look at cloak for Titanfall 2. It is. I don't really know how to describe it, but they can still kind of see you, but it's hard to see you. I would recommend this one. It's fun to use. It's fun to annoy people because they'll never see you coming. It doesn't last very long. I think it makes you invisible for like 3 to 5 seconds. But this would be a better one for more like intermediate players, maybe a little bit beginner. Next we have the Pulse Blade. This one, well, it does. It's kind of annoying to explain, but when you use its tactical, it'll shoot. I'm sorry, I'm blanking. It'll show enemies within a certain distance. It'll show multiple pulses until someone destroys it or it destroys itself after like 10 seconds. It is a one shot, one kill. So if you hit someone with it, it does kill them. And after you get like 10 kills with that, you unlock an execution. So I'll be going over that in a second. I myself would not recommend this unless you're trying to get that execution. It is good, but its radar only lasts for 10 seconds and doesn't give that much space. So I would not recommend it. But again, it's all about your playstyle. The grapple, it's very fun to use. It's just fun to grapple around. It makes you feel like Spider-Man. You do have 2 uses in that, but other than that, it's not the best for escaping fights. I would not. I hate saying this because I love it, but I would not recommend this for fighting, or I would not recommend this tactical at all, unless you like to like jump around or use it to get better speed. It does bring enemies toward you. Like if you grapple onto someone, which is hard to do, trust me. If you grapple onto someone and pull them towards you, which you can kill them better, and you can grapple on Titans like it, but I don't find it very useful. Next we have the stim. I'm a very big fan of the stim. It heals you almost instantly, no matter what health you're at, and makes you extremely fast, almost 2 times faster than for a short amount of time. I would recommend this. This is more for like intermediate players, intermediate to expert, because beginners, it'll be hard for you to grasp it. If I'm being honest, you'll have to use it for a while. I would recommend this though. It is a very fun thing to use. Next up, we have the AWOL. I do not recommend this at all. It's terrible. All it does is throw down a little tiny shield that doesn't take that many shots to take down. It doesn't cover you that much. Yes, you can shoot out of it, but in my opinion, it's completely useless. That's for if you like to sit in a corner, and it doesn't even last that long either. I think it lasts for like 30 seconds at most. I would not recommend this for anyone. I very much dislike this, so I would not recommend using this. Phase shift is my favorite tactical. I love phase shift. I use it for everything. Phase shift will teleport you, like it says, I'll read the description then. It teleports you into an alternate space for a short time. So basically, it'll make you entirely invisible and impossible to kill for about 1 to 2 seconds. So it's very good for getting out of sticky situations, or after you eject from a Titan, to have them shooting you at the air, have them lose you. I would recommend this for everyone. Beginners, intermediate, pros. Very much used thing. I haven't seen it much anymore, but I know it was very well used before. Very fun. I would recommend this. Next up, we have the Hollow Pilot. I myself find it pretty underrated. It's tricked me way too many times that I can count. It will create 3 extra copies. So if you're running forward and you click your tactical, it will shoot 3 others going 3 different directions running. If you're standing still, I believe it'll also make 3 others stand still or move. I would recommend this mainly for probably more like intermediate players. Maybe a little bit beginner. But I do not use this myself. I myself find it kind of useless. I don't know why. It can trick people. It doesn't trick a lot of people, but because you can tell by the way it moves. All it does is run. It'll run into a wall and it won't do anything about it. But again, this is more for like intermediate players. So that is the tacticals. My favorite are the phase shift and stim. Next up, we have your ordinances. I don't know why I guess they don't call them lethals because they don't want to copy off anyone. First, we have the frag grenade. It's your basic grenade. It's just grenade. I recommend this. It is fun to use. It's your good basic lethal. It can be used for anyone. Beginners, intermediate, experts. Next, we have the arc grenade. So it is pretty underrated. It does stun pilots and makes them very extremely slow for about 2 seconds, and it blinds Titans. So whenever it is thrown at their feet or thrown at them, it'll blind them with a bunch of just like static viewing, I guess, for a good 2 or 3 seconds. I find it underrated. I would recommend it for more like intermediate and beginner players, and expert, honestly. Not so much for beginners because it'd be kind of hard for them to use. Intermediate and expert, I do like this. Next will be the fire, which me personally is my favorite. It's my favorite. It's incendiary. It does a lot of damage to Titans. If you stick it to a player, an automatic death for them. It'll take a few seconds, but it'll kill them. Unless if they phase shift though, it'll get off them. That's the only way to avoid that. I do recommend this for beginners, intermediate, or it might be a little more difficult for the beginners because you do kind of got to be on point with it. But I would recommend this. Next up, we have the Gravity Star. I saw somebody use it last match I just did, but I do not recommend it. It does pull people into one spot, which then you could shoot them and kill them. But it does shoot them out before exploding, which I find kind of stupid. It shoots them out before exploding, which I don't understand that. It kind of makes it useless. I myself would not recommend this. It's not the best. Next up, we have the electric smoke grenade. This can be used. You can't really use it like Call of Duty. It cannot be used to escape people because it does damage you. All these damage you, obviously, if you're throwing it yourself. But it does cover a large area with smoke and electric. It doesn't do that much damage, so I would recommend this more for intermediate players. I did not use it myself, but again, it's all about your playstyle. Next up is a satchel. It's stupid. It's useless. I think I've run into, like, the 5 years I've played, I think I've run into less than 20 people that have used this. It's useless. It's terrible. Yes, it does. They got to be really close for it to one-shot you. You have to be basically standing on it for it to kill you. Even then, I don't know if it does. It does not do a lot of damage. It does not have range. It doesn't go very far when you throw it. It's terrible. Would never recommend the satchel. Again, male, female, all it does, of course, you can choose whatever you want. Female, it just makes them like skinnier. You can see like the leg difference. It does make it a little bit different. The side, you can see that it changes what they have on their side right here and their arm, and like this little bandana. Again, it doesn't do anything really. It doesn't affect gameplay whatsoever. It doesn't make you weaker. It doesn't do anything. Just your preference. Next up, we have, I don't know what it's called. It's called Kit 1. So you also do have to level up to get these. The power cell is as tactical, is more readily available. So I guess it's a lot faster cooldown, which means you get your tactical faster. I wouldn't recommend it. I find it kind of useless. It could be useful a little bit, but it's not the best. We have the fast regen, which is one of my favorites. I do like fast regen. It's very good. Regeneration begins way sooner. You'll start healing way faster. I recommend this for beginners and more intermediate players. I haven't seen a lot of like pro or expert players use this. But again, it all depends on your playstyle and like what map you're using. Because a lot of things depend on the map too. Or like what game you're playing. Next up, we have the Ordnance Expert, which it shows your exact trajectory of where it'll go. It shows exactly where it'll fall, if it'll explode in midair. This is more for beginner players. I'd recommend it for beginner players, not so much intermediate or experts, because it does have faster cooldown for your ordnance. But yes, it shows the trajectory, but it's not really the best. I recommend it only for the beginner players. Next up, we have Phase Embark, which is basic. I'll go over it again on the Titans. But it's basically only useful for if you have quick fall for your Titans. I wouldn't recommend it for beginners because I don't really know. Because you can't really use it as a beginner. You have to unlock it or buy it with your in-game credits. But I'd recommend it for more intermediate and expert players. Those of you that know how to actually play the game. So that's the one I use. It makes you get your Titan way faster. So yeah, I would recommend either Fast Regen or Phase Embark. Next up, we have Kit 2. So the first one is Death Report. I used to use this. I find it kind of useless. It does show where the enemies could be or the area they are, but all it does is mark where your teammates died or where your enemies died. I wouldn't recommend this at all. Next up, we have Wall Hang. While you are wall running, if you aim, you will hang onto walls. I do not know if there is time limit for this. I don't believe there is, but I would recommend it for intermediate and expert players. You gotta have good aim for this to work, really. So I wouldn't really recommend it unless you like to hang on walls like Spider-Man. Next up, we have Hover. So Hover allows you to float in midair for a little bit while you aim. So while you are flying or in the air and you ADS, it will allow you to hover for a short time. I use this. I do like it. The negative side about it is it does leave you exposed very easily for people to kill you. I would recommend this mainly for intermediate to expert players. It's not so much for beginners. But it does leave you exposed while you're hovering, but it does give you very good savability while you are trying to aim. If you fall out of a Titan, like you eject and you're trying to shoot from the sky, it'll make it way better. Next up is Low Profile. So this one shows no jump jet trails and silent Titan rodeo climbing. So your jump jet trails is when you double jump and there's like a little trail behind you. It'll show where you were last, like if you were on cloak or anything. It also is, when it says silent Titan rodeo climbing, when you're climbing onto a Titan, they will hear your footsteps. Like it'll tell you someone's rodeoing you, and it'll say it, it'll show you. But I find it kind of useful. It can be pretty good. They just won't hear you climbing onto your Titan. So they'd have to have, like, if they're deaf, you probably have an advantage there. Shoot, I messed up. Anyway, it is pretty good. I would recommend it for more like, for those of you that like to rodeo Titans and like steal their batteries, and this is mainly multiplayer again, but I would recommend for those that like to do that. Next, and finally, we have the Titan Hunter. So, the Titan meter earned from damaging Titans is increased by 10%. So that means whenever you are damaging Titans, it gives you more percentage to your core by 10%. I find this pretty useful. I do not have this yet because I did regen, which means I set myself back to level 1, but everything like is better, apparently. I don't know how that works, really. It does give you achievements, but that's later. I would recommend this for those of you that can actually hit shots in your Titan and are good with your core and that stuff like that. Next up, we have your executions. There's no commentating on this. You gotta do challenges. All the ones that say they have the lock on them, there's challenges for, but always they have the C in 2 lines. That means you have to spend your credits on. They're all used. They're all just executions. There's no commentating on that. Next up, we have Titans. Oof, there's a lot. There's a lot of Titans. So we're gonna start off with the Ion. Actually, no, I'll be right back. I gotta get some water. Alright, hold up. So for the Ion, it is, as you'll see, it has difficulty, which is how hard it is to use. This is a 1-star. It's very easy to use. The only 1-star out of all of them. This is basically beginners. Its damage is low, health is medium, and mobility is medium. I won't. These will be next because these are all different. Everything. So its laser core, it does do a lot of damage. Its core is very good, as long as you can hit it. As long as you can hit it, it's pretty good. What I don't like about the Ion is it uses energy. So when you are shooting your gun, it'll drain you. I don't recommend this. It drains your energy, which all of these take energy, all of it. So like if you were to use your laser shot, all of this would like deactivate. You have to let it cool up. Sorry, you have to let it like load up again. So I would not recommend the Ion unless you're a beginner. That's really it. It's very bad Titan in my opinion. I know my brother's probably getting mad at me for saying that, but I don't really care. Every Titan has a different kit. I can't really commentate on the kits because I don't use it. I probably won't commentate on any of the kits unless I use a Titan, because again, it's all on your playstyle. But I would not recommend that Ion. Next up, we have the Scorch. It says it has high damage, which it does, but that is considering your like attacks. Your firewall, it'll shoot it on the ground. And it'll be like it's not a wall. It's just a little flame on the ground that goes all the way across. It does do a decent amount of damage. The thermal shield, it does a lot of damage. It will destroy Titan very quickly. Incendiary trap, you can shoot 2 smoke things that are filled with ignitable gas, which is cover a large area. Its thermite launcher does not do a lot of damage. It's not really the best. I would recommend this Titan. It is a good Titan for like clusters of Titans, but attacking like one, I wouldn't really recommend it. And it's a 3-star difficulty. It is a very difficult Titan to use. I use all these because I've been playing for a long time, so I understand how to work them. Next up, we have the North Star. This is basically a sniper. Its damage is very high. It does charge up its rifle. You have to hold, as it says down here, with the plasma railgun. Sniper railgun that charges up while zoomed. Hold L2 or aim, or if you play on Xbox, whatever it calls that, I don't really care. L2 to charge. It'll charge it all the way up, and then you can shoot it. It does take a while to charge, so that's more of those who like to sit back and shoot. It's cluster missiles. They're alright. I don't like it. I wouldn't recommend it, really. That's only for like beginners that like to sit back. This video gets 25 minutes. I'll probably stop and finish it later. Next up, we have the Ronin. This is a very difficult Titan to use. As you can see, it's a 3-star. It's close range. You have to be up and personal with this one. You cannot sit back. Its gun itself, a close range gun, it has 3 barrels. You've got to be close up to be able to do this. Its core is very good. So, I mean, it is a good Titan. It is a very good Titan. I want to say kind of. It is a very good Titan. I would recommend this for like more experts, because you gotta know how to use you gotta know how to use the Ronin. It is difficult. Its melee is the sword on the back. That's also its core. The sword does do a lot for melee. Ronin, I use the Ronin sometimes. I only use the Tone, Legion, Monarch. So as I said, next one we have the Tone. This is my second most used Titan. It has a particle shield. I would recommend this for beginners, intermediates, and experts. It's a very good Titan. After you shoot somebody 3 times, like shoot a Titan 3 times, you can shoot tracking missiles, which, like it says, it needs a full lock required. It will shoot, so if you lock on to like 6 Titans, it'll shoot enough rockets to have all 6 Titans. It has a particle wall, which is very good, in my opinion. Sonar lock, which means if anyone in the area, it'll automatically lock onto them, and it'll show, like, sonar. Its gun does very high damage. It is a very good gun. I like this Titan. Very good Titan. It is only a 2-star difficulty, so again, any player really. Core is very good. It shoots a bunch of rockets at them, missiles that follow them until it hits them, or if they run into a wall, well, that sucks. Next up is Legion. Legion, it should be more like a 1.5-star difficulty if they don't do halves. It can be used close or long range. You can swap it between. As you see, it says mode switch down there with triangle. Swap between close and long range. Very powerful gun. Again, Legion kit, you can just more ammo. Faster while the predators can't spawn up. It does take a little bit of a charge to start shooting. That's because it's like a minigun. It has a giant gun. You can see. Right there. It's kind of hard to see, but I would recommend this gun. I would recommend this Titan for like beginner, intermediate players. This is for like you just like to spam a lot. It's like you like to spam a lot. I don't use this a lot unless we're doing like Titan vs Titan or Titan Brawl, which they did remove Titan Brawl for whatever reason. I don't know why. And even though this video hit 25 minutes, I'm going to finish stock because we only have one Titan left. I would recommend this for, like, again, beginners and intermediates. 2-star difficulty. Next up is the Monarch. Very difficult Titan to use. Its core upgrades are completely different. Its core is entirely different. You have a bunch of cores to use. Your first upgrade, you can have extra missiles, like twice as amount of your missile, arc rounds, and energy transfer. I find these two the best, but I recommend missile racks. Arc rounds, it's kind of useless, in my opinion. Next up is your second upgrade. You have Maelstrom, which means your electric smoke is dealing more damage to Titans and pilots. And the rearm and reload. This is faster reload and rearm speeds. Energy field. Energy siphon affects a large area around where it hits, but I wouldn't recommend it. Next up is this Core Upgrade 3. I recommend the Superior Chassis. It upgrades your mech max health and removes weak point vulnerabilities. Very amazing core upgrade. The multi-target missiles is completely useless. It's terrible. There's no use for it. The Accelerator mod, I've never used it. It increases fire rate and damage, but I wouldn't recommend it. Overall, this Titan is an amazing Titan to use. I would recommend it for more intermediate and expert players. Its rockets destroy. It does a lot of damage. Energy Siphon's pretty good. XO16 does do a decent amount of damage for its gun. In fact, I don't know why it's pink on the gun either. I would recommend this for like intermediate and experts. So my favorite are the Monarch, Legion, and Tone. Like my top two, Monarch and Tone, and my top one, like I don't really have a top one, so they're just tied. This will be part 2. I will do part 3 next. Peace. End.